Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of the Beyond the Boards podcast powered by Hockey Tutorial. This being the first episode, of course, it's a good idea to give you guys a bit of insight into what you can expect from the podcast. We're going to be talking about, hence the name Beyond the Boards, things that happen off of the ice. So don't really expect us to be talking really specifically about games, about what happened in the first and second period. We want to focus on the other elements of what goes on in hockey for hockey players in general, whether that be life experience, travel, things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. Lots of varying different topics is what you can expect from the podcast that we're going to be touching on. Is there anything that you think I've missed out on?
No, nothing I think you missed out on.
Good.
Yeah, we'll be touching on parts of what's going on inside of hockey, what's going on in and around Hockey Tutorial as a brand, and what's going on with our lives and the lives of everyone involved in the hockey community that we're a part of.
Perfect. This is probably a good time for you guys to introduce yourselves. So who wants to go first?
I'm Tommy. Obviously, I play for the Rockford Raiders. You've probably seen me in a couple of the other videos. Just here to talk about what goes on in a hockey player's life without an ice rink.
There we go. Yourself, Josh?
I'm Josh, and I just hang around the Hockey Tutorial office from time to time, and known basically since you got started, really.
For sure.
Known Hockey Tutorial and sort of been the mastermind behind it.
Oh, here we go. Why don't you explain? Why don't you explain that for me? Please explain that.
Well, when I moved into this area, I needed to know how to play some ice hockey locally. So I got in touch with you on Twitter.
Yeah.
Didn't I? And then we met up the next morning. The very next morning we met up and we skated outside. And then you'd never been padded up to play hockey. So the first time he got padded up to play ice hockey, he was wearing my leftover kit, you know, like my second-hand stuff out of the loft, a mixture of mine and my brother's. And I'm not even going to take it past there because I start embarrassing what you do. And from there, you know, I've always had a little influence on the stuff that's going on around here.
I'm not going to lie. It's pretty accurate. He is the guy that dragged me from just kind of playing stick and puck onto an actual rink. It was Peterborough with the Phoenix team. And that was the first time I actually put on full equipment.
The first time we travelled to play, we were together, weren't we?
Yeah.
The first time we sort of got on a plane and crossed
It's
the
like
border.
a little love story, isn't it, Josh?
Yeah, it is a little bit. And here we are today with the first episode of the podcast. So
the first thing that we're definitely going to be chatting about is the fact that right now the whole world is on lockdown. Everyone except Sweden, but we can definitely talk on that, like touch on points about that later. But with everything that's going on, what's life been like for yourselves without ice, without, proper hockey?
It's definitely weird. Obviously, from being a hockey player, it's weird. I mean, obviously, I trained 4 days a week and I played probably about 2 games a weekend. So going from that to absolute nothing, it was strange, but it's also a plus because it's always good to have time away, especially to recover from injuries and all stuff like that, and to obviously work on some things. Like my coach told me to put on weight. Everyone loves eating, but obviously there's a limit. So it was tough because obviously I wanted to go out, I wanted to shoot, wanted to work on some things for the new season, but I was told not to. So it's finding that limit between training at home and obviously resting, because you want to rest. So when you come back, you're hungry for the ice, but you don't want to rest too much that you come back and you're like a blob.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't do anything. You're slow,
sluggish.
Yeah, and you're just not ready. Because who knows when we're going to be able to go back to the rink? We could
Exactly.
go back and season could be next week. It could be within a couple months. You never know. So you want to be ready for when you go back to the rink instead of having to get there and be like, well, now I've got 2 weeks to be in game shape, and you're like 2 months away. So it's just it's finding things to do at home to be ready, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, for sure. That makes sense. What kind of things have you been doing personally to kind of like keep on your toes? Because obviously you play competitive hockey. For anyone that's watching that's unaware of like the structure of hockey in the UK, myself and Josh play recreationally. Tommy plays competitively, so it's a different thing. Us staying in shape is a different story to you staying in shape.
We train with wine and steak. That's our weekly schedule.
For sure. But what kind of things are you doing to stay fresh while you're off the ice?
I'd say I'm quite lucky because my setup at home is quite nice.
Yeah.
I've got a massive like little shooting area that my dad built me for when I was young, from when I was like, I'd say about 10. history behind it, I broke a window and Mum was not very happy. So we had to sort of work out a system that if I missed the net, it was just coming straight back at me instead of hitting anything.
Yeah.
So my dad sort of built me like a little shooting gallery from the old net in Romford. So I'm quite lucky. So I could just stay at home and shoot hundreds of pucks each day. So I've been shooting probably, I'd say about 250 pucks a day. That's just obviously the shots.
Yeah.
And to stay in shape, I've got a couple of dumbbells. And even then, you don't need to use weights. Normally, your body weight's fine. So push-ups, sit-ups, all that kind of stuff works perfectly. And I found rollerblading is quite similar.
Do you know what? That's a really good one. I've actually been thinking about that now more than ever. This isn't even a plug, but Mars Blade, like now has been the time that I've been sat here thinking, damn, it'd be a good time to go out and get some of those set up. Because I've got the original ones on a pair of VH skates. That was before VH was purchased by True. But they're quite heavy. The skate wasn't really
You're
the
getting some
ideal.
synthetic ice though, aren't you?
Yeah,
You
that's...
can have a little something to skate on.
Yeah, we'll touch on that later on. I posted that on Instagram. I'm in the process, because I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but the room next door, because we're in the main room of our office right now, next door we turned it into a synthetic rink. And a few months ago now, we tore all of that up to create more studio space, because we're doing a lot more product videos. We needed a studio that we call Studio A for being able to film talking segments to the camera. And we also wanted a separate space to be able to film product shots. So you can put a product on and you can do 180-degree pans while you're still having the product in frame on the table with a black background. So because of that, that happened just before this pandemic started. So I was like, we need more studio space. Let's gut the studio. Let's gut the synthetic rink and turn it into a studio. And then all the ice rinks closed. And it's just like, oh my God, could I have picked a worse time to do it? But getting it set up at home, we'll definitely touch on what I'm going to be doing with that later on in the video and what equipment I'm going to be trying to stack up at the house so I can stay busy.
Rollerblading is very similar to skating.
Yeah.
People unless you go, I can rollerblade, they don't think you can rollerblade.
Yeah.
Ice and roller isn't that much different. So you can still work on like your stride and stuff like that. The things that hockey players work on, but most people don't see, like you said. They see obviously training where they're shooting, working on their systems. But edges is actually very important within hockey.
Yeah.
And people don't see that. The better skaters are the better players. The game's changing. It used to be about being big, being strong. But now if you look at the NHL, you've got players like McDavid, is it Dylan Larkin from Detroit? They're tearing it up because they're faster. The game's changing a lot, so the skating level has come up a lot higher. So players are now working on their edges, their stride a lot more. So rollerblading and working on your stride is I'd say is very important. It's just as important as shooting and weights in a minute.
For sure, no, that's definitely a point. And being on lockdown, I don't know what it's like for other countries, but in the UK we're still allowed to essentially do, exercise.
Yeah,
so if you put on
one exercise a day or something like that.
Yeah, so if you put on a pair of inlines, you can go for a skate and
You can
get a
exercise
workout.
as much as you want though. They just want you to do it within the confines of your footprint of the house. But I've got a pretty decent setup at home to keep myself active, pull up bars, punching bags, things like this. I've even been doing squats with some rocks in my garden, like some big boulders. At the end of the day, you gotta move, man. Otherwise, you're just gonna get crazy.
Yeah, it's working with what you've got, right?
Yeah, you gotta move your body. Otherwise, your mind gets stale as well, doesn't it? So.
For sure. For me, if you guys remember a while back, actually it was only a couple of weeks ago, maybe about a month ago now, when we filmed that sauce toss video, the old versus the new, and the oldest sauce kit that they had was super, super heavy. So what I've done is put a hockey stick in the middle and then hung each of the sauce toss units on each side, and I'm using that as a barbell. And I've been doing tricep dips with it, bicep curls, chest press. It's working with
whatever
what
you
got.
can get, yeah.
Yeah, just staying creative. But no, that's cool. In terms of, it sounds like a weird one, but us being on lockdown, you touched on this a little bit. What good do you think has come from being on lockdown? You touched about recovery and getting time to work on other things, etc. What other things can you think of?
It's good to be able to rest, like I said, because I was training 4 days a week and playing 2 games a weekend, plus I worked at the rink as well. So my life literally was that ice rink. I didn't really go anywhere else. So now getting time at home, I can recover from injuries during the season, just chill around, mess about with the family. It's good to do that type of stuff away from hockey, because it will get to a time where you'll be like, I've just done too much hockey. Like, what else have I done?
A break's nice.
It's nice to always be at the rink and working on what you love, but it's also nice to be away from it. Because otherwise it just comes to a point in life where you're like, I've done nothing other than hockey.
For sure. Not like it's a bad thing, but you need to mix it up.
You need to, because otherwise it will come to a point where you just get bored of hockey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people always said to me when I was younger, especially at the old rink, they was like, you're here 7 days a week. You'll get to a point where you're bored and you won't want to do hockey anymore. I looked at him and I was like, no, like, that will never happen. It will get to that stage where you get bored. So you need to have that breakaway to then get hungry again.
For sure. What about yourself?
Well, I just thinking, as you mentioned, like being around the house with the family. I'm not staying with my extended family at all, but I've been managing to see them at a reasonable social distance. And it seems like some stress levels of everyday life have been lifted, and somehow everyone's kind of... I know there's so much pressure on everyone at the minute, and the uncertainty looking forward weighs heavily on people. But the fact of the matter is that daily grind has just kind of disappeared for those that are lucky. You know, there's a lot of people out there having to work harder than ever. But that daily grind having lifted for me and my people has kind of made a lightness where the banter's increased a little bit. The laugh is a little bit harder, do you know what I mean? But hey man, I'm appreciating the life at the minute, and at the end of the day, we don't have a lot of control over the situation, so try to keep your mind active, your body active, and keep socially active as well, whether that's phone calls or just trying to get some time around your family. I mean, it's good, you know. Who gets to spend 3 weeks indoors with their kids? Think about some dads, you know, young kids working away every week or something, and now next thing you know, hey, look, I got like 4 or 5 weeks indoors with my kids. I get to spend so much time with them. So, yeah, there's a lot of positives for what's going on at the minute, man.
No, I agree. And I think touching back on what you're saying about being able to focus on other things in life, that what you're saying about like just focusing on hockey, it's the same with everything that we do with the hockey tutorial thing, because what I think a lot of people don't realize is the more, especially during the start of this year, the more content we put out, the more trips we go on, you actually find like the less hockey you're playing. And what happens is when we focus on everything that we have to do to be able to create the content that we do with this whole thing, is it's the same thing. It's like you get to a stage where you're an autopilot. You obviously you still love it, you still enjoy it, but being able to step away from it, like obviously rinks are closed, all of the major manufacturers' HQs are closed, so we're not able to get new products in to be able to create more content, more reviews. So it means that I have to think more creatively about what content we put out. But aside from that, it also gave me a chance to focus on something else, which is like the whole skateboarding channel that has been started over the last few months. And it's nice to be able to do something that's completely unrelated to hockey, because then when you do come back to hockey, you're like, damn, I really missed this. And you're more into it.
You're hungry. You
Exactly.
want to do it. You'll find like when most hockey players come back, they'll have so much energy. They'll just want to play games. And I think it will be good for hockey because everyone will be so hungry. They'll come back and they'll just want to play games.
No, I agree.
We haven't really been playing hockey between me and Chris. And a lot of the last few months we were talking about, what we really need to do is get back into a routine of playing at least once a week. And we wanted to tie that into recording this podcast and things. But, you know, we've got a lot going on family-wise and work-wise and stuff, and we're trying to schedule it in. But I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt, the opportunity to do that, having been taken from us, we will definitely be.
It sort of drives you more to want to play hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've been on the ice more in Romford than we have in Cambridge. I mean, to put it into perspective, the rink here opened quite a number of months ago now. We've been there a couple of times to do, you know, like product shoots or to get on the ice to film a specific element of a product. But neither of us have been to that rink to play hockey, and it's been there for months now.
Yeah.
Like, I spend more time in Romford than I do in Cambridge. And to put it into perspective for anyone that's unaware, the cities are roughly about 40 miles apart. So it takes a good hour and a bit to get from one to the other. And yet I'm at your rink more than I am at the rink that's not even half a mile down the road from here, which is insane. It's just how things have been going on. Because the original episode...
We don't really know the best slot to get down there. We just haven't figured it out yet, have we?
It's just difficult.
Frustrating.
It's just difficult with times, because I think hockey there is played on a Monday, but a Monday's quite a chaotic day for the both of us.
Yeah.
So it's how do we restructure our lives to be able to get down there and play? But everything that's happened now, like, I guarantee I'm going to find a way to make Monday work now, because it's like, I can't remember the last time I was on the ice playing hockey. It's Finland.
Yeah,
That was
same.
February, January?
Same.
That's the last time we played.
I hurt myself as well. I was wearing some really booky skates, man. I had the footbeds out my boots. The boots I'm wearing now, I don't have any footbeds in them because I left them in those skates by accident.
I've actually got a shot of you like absolutely buckling on the ice,
Yeah.
like breaking your ankle. That was funny.
Yeah.
So I think this is probably a really good time to talk about some of the products that you're using for training at home. So you've shared about like, insight about like using inlines, etc. But what actual bits are you using to keep training?
Well, like I said, I'm just shooting at the minute. So obviously my stick, my gloves, and I've got like I'd say about 400 pucks at home.
Jeez.
I've got just where you found them at the rink. You know, I don't know, yeah, that work. Just pocket them and take them home. I've ended up with like the crates you get when you order shopping to your house. I've got like 2 big crates like that, full of them.
Geez, so if any pucks, I can hit you up.
Yeah, I've got tons of them. I've got all different kinds as well, like yellow, orange, white. Like, varies through so many different things.
And if you could make like a wish list of the products that you'd like to have at home to be able to work with, what would you say those are?
I'd like some targets or like a holy goalie, just something to aim for. Because at the minute I've got like water bottles hanging from my goal, and they can only take so many shots before they're just destroyed, and you have to swap them over. And it's so much ag. Whereas if it's targets, you just ping them off them all the time.
Have you seen any particular targets that you like the look of?
No, I haven't really looked, to be honest. I probably should have. I could have ordered some, but it's a bit of effort for me, innit, let's be honest.
Have you seen Winwell's goals? I'm trying to load it up on my phone right now. Of course, I'll dump it on the screen so you guys can see as well. But it's a 72-inch net. Look at that.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they've got that one, and then that one as well.
Oh, wow, that second one is very interesting.
You see what I'm saying?
Does it have a back to it?
It's only got netting, but only where you
that's
shoot.
Got to be, that's got to be the sides and the 5-hole, surely.
Yeah, exactly. And
That's
then this
pretty
one
cool.
over here is like full on targets.
Yeah, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so like I'm trying to see if I can get 2 of those for the setup, like one of each.
That'd be
for
cool.
The setup that I'm trying to build at home, but there's some funky stuff that you can get now, and it's like it's nice that there are so many options for us to be able to set things up at home to be able to use. Because if we were at, I don't know, like if this happened in the 90s or something like that, what could you do to train at home?
What do you mean as far as like internet deliveries?
No, internet delivery and
products
just like the equipment.
available. Yeah.
Because I know hockey players that have been playing for a while, or like especially the hockey players that are like in their 40s and their 50s, always say like, I wish this stuff was around when I was a kid, because it's still quite fresh though, isn't it? The whole concept of training off the ice.
I suppose the internet's actually had quite an influence on training off the ice, because you wouldn't find a store that would be able to stock a plethora of choices for off-ice training equipment, would you?
No, of course.
But on the internet, that widespread demographic can obviously access it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think it's also the element of people making things and then other people seeing them and then making them better. Because I remember the first time I saw like an off-ice puck, you had these, those Reebok street pucks with the little balls on the bottom of them.
Yeah, they were terrible.
Exactly.
They had like little ball bearings, but they were just... off-ice pucks are just always going to be a struggle, though. You're trying to get something, you need ice, you need something.
I think the best one so far has been the green biscuit. That slides pretty nicely.
Yeah, they're good. I just don't like the material and the weight.
I think they break quite easy.
But you're not going to shoot with them. I
No,
know
but
they make
even
the
like
that you can shoot with, but
I even broke one of those.
Yeah.
They're not the best.
I mean, who wants a hockey puck you're not supposed to shoot with anyway? That's the point of the game,
If I've got a puck, I'm going to shoot it somewhere.
Yeah.
But then that's you've also got the option of synthetic now as well, like being able to have proper, decent quality synthetic ice for you to be able to get on, skate with, shoot with your
Few
proper
pennies,
stick.
though, no?
It's expensive, yeah. That is the drawback, but I think now more than ever, you don't know how long you're going to be on lockdown for. So
yeah, I've set up a little at-home equipment, because at the end of the day, even when this is lifted, the gyms,
They're going to be packed.
I don't think they will be packed.
No, I think people are going to be cautious.
Yeah.
I reckon they're going to go straight. Well, once they can, I reckon people are going to be trying to hit the gym. Especially people that are like fitness freaks and stuff like that. They're going to want to be going back.
The gym is something that we've bought into as a society, leisure centers in every sort of major town. But the fact of the matter is it's just not required for general fitness. 95% of the population does not need to try to build muscle. You know what I mean? The amount of times I've gone to the gym and thought, I'm going to pack on some muscle and done, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, 15 weeks. But now, man, I'm 28 in a couple of weeks, What's the point of me trying to be as big as the biggest man I can be. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, I need to stay mobile. I need to stay stretched out. I need to stay decent stamina. You know, I need to be able to get my heart rate up. I need to be able to feel like I have muscle on my body so that I'm not... If I just sit in a desk all day and I don't lift something, the muscle will just deteriorate from my body. But the fact of the matter is, you don't need a gym for that.
Yeah, I think that's a good point as well, because most players think they need to be like built and strong, but it's not. Like, most hockey players are trying to get that perfect body where they have big chest, big muscles, all that. Some players don't need that. Like forwards, you don't necessarily need to be stocked up. You want to be fast. Your agility wants to be good. Like, it's not about being big. So like he said, you don't need to have that perfect body, even within hockey. Like, you want, like, D-men, fair enough, you want to be big, but forwards, not so much.
No, for sure. I think hockey, correct me if I'm wrong, is one of the only sports in the world where the professional players
They look like normal.
do not look like professional athletes.
If you take LeBron James and Cristiano Ronaldo and Alex Ovechkin,
Can you stack?
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like
Ovi isn't exactly like hasn't got the ideal body, does he?
you wouldn't look at that man and go healthy pro athlete, but the dude steps out onto the ice and
You got to be able to move on the eighth of an inch of a blade.
Like I said, you don't have to have that perfect body within hockey.
Yeah.
You've got some players, like I know some players in my team that are built, like, if you walk into him, you just fall over. Like, one of them's actually picked me up in the corner and shot the puck away with the other hand. Like, he's that big. Like, you don't need to be big.
Yeah.
Some players do, some don't. So don't think, like, if you're a hockey player and you're trying to work at home, you need to build that perfect body. Try and, like, work on your reaction time, especially if, like, a forward or a centre, like, your reactions want to be fast. Try and work on that instead of having that perfect body, because that will just slow you down.
For sure. But this comes back to what you're saying about gyms. It's like, I honestly think that because of everything that's gone on, people are learning that there's a lot that you can do from home. So if you've been able to get by all this time doing things from home, why would you then go back to...
The other thing as well is I've wanted a home setup for probably close to 2 years, and I've had a little something in mind. I don't have a lot of room to play with, but I had something in mind, and this is what's pushed me to actually do it. And now I got to set up at home. I mean, I needed to take care of some stuff yesterday, and I was able to just snap out a quick half an hour workout. I didn't even have any shoes on, you know. I just had my training shorts on, no t-shirt, shoeless, in my garden, did a half an hour workout, which is, incorporating muscle training and stamina and heart rate and agility, and reaction, and accuracy.
What kind of things are you doing?
Well, with the punching bag I have that's swinging, you know, it's just hanging from a tree, and you have to slip and slide, and you have to hit your shots, and it's moving. And I've got my pull-up bar, and I can do leg raises, push-ups. I've got a heavy bag for some power stuff. And you can get something on your back and drop down and do some squats. I mean, for me, this is fine. But I was able to get that out in half an hour, and then I just jumped in the shower. I put the plug in the bath so that my feet would soak, you know, and wash my feet a bit more than I normally would, just because I've been outside barefoot. But look, you know, proper workout. I didn't even have to leave the confines of my own home. I was in my garden, inside my gate, and busted a sweat, jumped in the shower, was good to go within half an hour. You can't do that with a gym.
Yeah, no,
you
that's
park
true.
up and tap in, and you know. The woman at the counter is probably upset with you because you forgot your fob and everything. It's like, man, just leave me be. I'm shoeless, shirtless in my garden, getting a full workout in. So,
No, for sure.
It's got its bonuses, man.
No, I agree. So you guys think that, in your eyes, do you find that a benefit? Like, people being... One thing I've got to say is I think people are more motivated to do stuff now, especially, like, I've never seen so many joggers in my life now. Because the only reason you can leave your house is for, like, your daily exercise. I've seen people walking their dogs like 6-7 times. Yeah. Dogs like on the ground just getting dragged across the street. It's like, bloody hell, everyone's doing whatever they can to get out, and because we don't have anything else to do.
Yeah, my old man's been like fixed my mum's push bike and my brother's push bike so that they can get out. They've been sat around for 2 years without being ridden, you know. So
there is some good. Definitely some good. Do you have a list of things that you want to try?
Any new stick, you throw me a new stick, I'm going to use it. You know yourself, how many sticks do I go through?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, I've gone through so many. I actually remember one time I was training and Chris comes up to do a video after training, and he gave me the trigger free. You gave me the trigger free, like, I'd say like 3 weeks beforehand. just as training ends, someone tears me up for a 1-2, snap the stick clean in half. I'm like, oh.
What, the same day you got it?
No, it was like 3 weeks later.
Oh, okay.
Didn't have it that long. And I come off the ice and I sort of just hid the stick behind the door. I was like, Chris, are we done with the trigger free? He was like, yeah.
Oh, had you already done the video you needed to do with it?
Yeah, just.
Okay.
And I just pulled the stick out, just did 2, and I was like, it's kind of good then. And he just sort of looked at me. He was like, I've just given you that. I'm like, yeah.
You must have a good shot, man. I've never broken a stick clean through the shaft.
I've gone through so many sticks, it's unreal. I mean, if you could see my dad's face when I say I've gone through so many sticks.
Yeah.
This one season, under 18, you play like, what, 24 games?
Yeah.
I went through 21 sticks. 21.
How?
Just where I train so much, like even when I trained far away, I'd always train like 2-3 hours at a time because I'd be training up with the olders.
Yeah.
So I'd be shooting way more. And like I said, I've always had that setup in my garden, so my shot would be one of my best elements on the ice. My shot's quite good. Mm-hmm. So where I'm leaning through my shots constantly, the stick just goes soft quite easy. You're probably not going to be happy, but my trigger 4's gone soft as well.
I'm not surprised. You should see how he goes through skates. Like, I've lost count. I've honestly lost count. I think, like, top-end skates with you, like, you're getting, what, maybe 6 to 8 months out of them, max?
Normally, like a season, and I have to get a new pair of skates, yeah.
That's unbelievable.
And the price point for these skates and these sticks, man.
I mean, you gave me them FT, what were they, 490s?
Yeah, FT 490. I'm still in the same pair.
He came back 2 weeks later, and there was a gash at the FT2 sign.
Like a blade, like a skate blade that just, like...
kicked me, yeah. And he just went, what the hell have you done? I was like, hockey.
Dude goes through skates like flip-flops, man. It's unreal.
The new product that I want to try out, dude, is that rink. I know it's not up, but like...
Oh, what, the one that I'm trying to get set up?
No, this Cambridge rink, man. It's literally... You could walk there in 15 minutes from here, dude. And we've got an office full of top-end equipment. And
we've not played hockey there.
Nah. Do you know how many times we found the time to sit down and eat and drink twice a week or something silly for the last year? I'm being serious. And we keep saying we need to play hockey. We've just been like, we haven't done it, but it's a shame, man. One day I'm gonna be 62 years old, 75 years old. And I'm going to be thinking, oh, you know what would be nice? I wish I could play hockey now. But now that I'm fit and able, sat about, not
we'll
on
make
the
the
ice.
time. We'll make the time.
But
that's your product.
That's my product, yeah.
Yeah.
But the setup at your house is going to be interesting. Just because I know that for the sake of HT and its bread and butter and its birthplace having been off-ice equipment, now that it's time to get a proper at-home off-ice setup, it needs to be like 2 strokes short of extravagant, man. Like, you need to have some serious stuff in there.
I've got some ideas. I mean, so far, gonna have those 2 nets from Winwell, the one with the circle targets on it, and then the one with like, it's kind of like in an M shape sort of thing. Gonna have both of those there. I'm gonna, in terms of the synthetic panels that I'm gonna go for, is Gleiss, the company from Switzerland that we were filming with not too long ago. The setup, correct me if I'm wrong, Ricky, behind the camera, but I think we're looking at 25 square meters.
Yeah, 25.
Yeah, so we're going to have 25 square meters of synthetic ice, like skatable ice, nice, thick, wide panels. It's going to be pretty clutch. I'm thinking stick handling things. I'm going to go with, the majority of them are going to be from Hockey Revolutions. I'm going to go with some of their passers, some of their My Enemy stick handling things to move the puck around.
If you get some of the passers fixed onto the
that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing, yeah.
So like you can be on skates, you got your 25 square,
Yeah.
but then around the outside you've got
Passers.
rubber bands that you can
Yeah,
sling the
that's
puck off of.
that's definitely something I'm missing from my house. It's saying to pass off and then hit the 1-T. Like
That's what we're going to have. Like, and aside from that, just I think it was 2 days ago or yesterday, we built robotic attack triangle. So like a stick and then the arm swinging so you can stick handle around it. Like that was fun. Like,
I'm going to withhold my comments on that. It looked like fun, but I'm just going to withhold my comment.
It was ugly. It was ugly, but it's functional. Like we said. Go on, what do you want to say?
I don't even need to say anything. You can watch the video. And then we'll understand if you're on the same mind frame as me. You can put your comments in. You can put what you think I'm thinking in the comment section below.
wish I could say what I'm thinking, but I'll save that for off camera. But stuff like that, I'm going to try and set up as much as I can. But there's not going to be like 20 different products on there. I'm just going to go for essentially my favorites, the stuff that I think I'm actually going to use, rather than just dumping stuff there because it looks cool.
Yeah, because you don't want to crowd it. It needs. But the thing is what I was touching on earlier, being able to pop outside and have that quick workout. One of my biggest pet peeves with hockey is I don't like to use it just to stay in shape, because for the amount of ice time that you get for the sake of traveling half an hour to the rink, getting your kit on half an hour, getting on the ice for an hour, realistically you're only touching the ice for probably 25 minutes, or at least skating. It could even be only 15 minutes that you're really skating when you're out there. Then you're off the ice, you're getting showered up because your kit stinks, and then you're traveling home. You know, you're sort of 3 hours into what could be 30 minutes of proper exercise. But with this setup you have, and this 25 square meter that you have to play with, getting the rebounds on the passes and a few things to stick hand around, and just having your skates on, and just that quick keep pass, shoot, and that repetition, you know, you can be in and out the front door within sort of 40 minutes, having actually I've worked on my reaction, my accuracy, some agility, my heart rate's been up, I'm sweating, my arm's sore, I got a pump in some of my muscles.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And you're back in the house, like this is going to be right on your doorstep, literally.
That's the whole point. And of course, being able to work, because it's always nice being able to get out and shoot at park, but being able to put your skates on and skate at the net, you can work on different moves, tight turns. It's a lot better than just standing stationary and shooting at a net. Of course, you've got the option of doing it in inlines, but I've always preferred being on blades, so it just makes sense. And now that there's the time, because we have no idea how long everything's going to be locked down for, it just makes sense to try and make things as comfortable as you possibly can. So I'm looking forward to setting that up. Of course, like I'll do a video on the actual setup and then a video on what you can do on it in terms of like creatively. Yeah. So that would be decent. It'd be good to see if you can make it down to test it out and see what you think of it.
I ain't promising I won't break anything though. That's one thing. Whether it's a stick or whether it's something else, there will be most likely something.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm down for that.
Yeah, this setup, the way you pull into his drive, it just elevates into a cul-de-sac. So like for people that are passing by, it's just gonna look like just like the little hockey mecca on top of the hill up there. I mean, it's only a slight gradient, but it's what you see.
Yeah.
It's gonna look funny, man.
I'm pumped for it. I think the delivery date for everything is the 4th of May. So need to wait a couple of weeks, but once that's done, I'm looking forward to getting that place set up. It's gonna be sick. But that kind of like leads swiftly on. With everything that's happened, I don't know how much detail I can go into it, but there's a couple of manufacturers that had announcements for products that were coming. And a lot of that has been delayed, some by quite a number of months. But
is that because of manufacturing process, or because you think?
No, just because. Yeah, I think obviously a lot of manufacturers would have been looking at what's going to happen if you announce a product during a pandemic. It's illogical. No one's playing hockey. Nobody can get on the ice. All of the major stores realistically can't be accessed.
Oh, so you mean more like equipment and on ice stuff?
Yeah, a lot of stuff has been put on hold. A couple of skates, a couple of sticks, a couple of helmets.
Everything's been put on hold, man. Even the movies, you know, like they just, James Bond's not going to come out for another 12 months. Like, what?
Yeah, no, for sure.
You got a feature-length film that you're just going to sit on, but hey, man.
But hopefully, you know, when everything returns to whatever the new normal is going to be like later on, what are you guys excited to get your hands on?
For me, I'm a stick guy. Any stick I can get my hands on, I'd love. So I'm looking forward to some new sticks coming my way.
Yeah, for any manufacturers in mind? Silly question.
We both know what make I like. I've been a CCM guy for like 9 years now. So anything CCM sent my way, I'll use it.
Fair play. I think for me, it's the new set of skates that I'm excited to take a look at, the AS3s. And what's painful, I'm sure I can get away with saying it in the video. The video for the AS3s is done, and it's been done for a while. Like I'm talking a few months. It's sat in my YouTube videos, set as private, and all that needs to be done is click publish. But it's one of the things we have to kind of sit on and wait before we can show you all of the new toys and tech that's packed into those pair of skates. But that's what I'm pumped to be able to get out and actually be able to use them properly and try. But yeah, for sure. What about yourself?
Well, I just want to get some equipment on, man, and skate. I'm like totally happy Larry sort of approach to any hockey equipment. I know we've kind of got a little stockpile of stuff here ready for when we get playing again, But at the end of the day, dude, the new stuff to me, because when I was younger, I used to play with, I mean, some of the equipment I've had, man, is so raggedy looking. Do you know what I mean? Like, some of it you'd look at and you're like, those aren't even hockey pads, man. They look like they're American football shoulder pads or something, you know? So for me, dude, as long as it relatively fits me, dude, I just want to jump on the ice and play, man. It never really bothers me. I'm not thinking about my kit so much. Do you know what I mean?
That's
when I'm
good,
in
though.
the game, sometimes it gets frustrating, you know, and it is better to have the best equipment possible, but I've always been an advocate of, like, don't let that stuff stop you from getting in the way of you actually playing, especially some of the price points as well. Like, if you're a new guy and you just want to be on the ice, dude, just get enough so that they can tick the box and say you are meeting the regulatory requirements. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just get out
for
there,
sure.
man, and play.
No,
It's gonna hurt. It's always gonna hurt, you know, and it's always gonna feel good when you get a good shot off, you know. Just yeah. So
For sure. So from there, I think we should wrap up the first episode. But hopefully this, guys, gives you a little bit of an insight into what you can expect from these episodes. Of course, once things get lifted and life becomes a little bit more accessible and we can get around and have people come over, there's going to be guests that we're having here. Everything from pro players to equipment manufacturers to some of the people that deal with all of the pro players that we all see on TV constantly, the guys that are tweaking their equipment. A guy that I'm desperate to get on the podcast is Marco, who works for CCM, who's the NHL equipment customizer. So every CCM athlete that's in the NHL, male or female, he's the guy that's customizing their kit.
based in Canada.
He's based in Montreal, and like we filmed a video with him a year ago or so where we were just asking him about what he does, who he's worked with. But some of the stories that he was telling us off camera were just, it was unreal. So getting him to sit down in front of the set over here, or if we do it over conference or whatever, and just hearing some of the stuff that he's got to share is unbelievable. So that's something that you guys can look forward to seeing when you tune into the future episodes. But I guess that's it for this one, man. You guys want to sign out?
We got to save some stuff for later down the line, don't we? So
For sure.
I got some stories to tell. I know that much. There's a lot that you don't know about Chris.
So that's a bit scary, but yeah, for sure. Before I go, I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone that is on the front line of the pandemic that's going on right now, everyone that's working with people that are sick, that's working on trying to stop the spread of this or helping the people that have already been infected by this. A big thank you to all of the people that are on the front line, especially anyone that's working for the NHS or any of the other supporting businesses and workforces that we see, even like people that are doing the bins, the mail people that are still delivering our letters. Everyone that's doing those kinds of jobs, much appreciated, and hopefully we'll be able to get through this pandemic together. But thank you for watching the first episode, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Guys.